Welcome back to the vlog. So I'm currently over in Lancing, which is about 50 minutes drive away from where I live at home in Portsmouth. And I'm over here today because my mentor Justin is hosting a property education training day. So we're going to spend a couple hours in the office first, and then we're going to go and view one of his properties he's recently bought at auction to look at the refurb that he has plans for on that project. I love these types of days, obviously networking, talking property, learning. There's always so much that I take away from these events. So let's get into it.
In its current value, but it was the fact that the auction plus the lease extension plus the refurb, there's such a high barrier to entry for anyone to get to. The next one, which again Adam and Max would have seen, was Abbey Road, which I did earlier this year. Oh yeah.
The condition of the walls look fine. Yeah. Like, you don't need to board it or like. Just need
a little bit of damp at like.
Yeah.
And I wonder how long it's probably been sitting anyway.
This is what I mean. Like, a lot of the times you think it's just cold.
It's still quite difficult though, because I'm working, like, shifting mindset from one job to the other constantly is a challenge.
The problem is doing the refurb. Yes. I mean, I did a little bit, I did like the new ceiling, yeah. So a little bit, it was great, because this was probably up there whilst I sat home.
Of older people around here, and this is like the prime sort of property for them. Like, these sort of things sell really easily because they're on one floor. They've got a really, like, you know, manageable but nice garden.
So it's now a few days later, and I realise in these first few YouTube videos I've not actually explained what I do in property or what the company's doing itself. And the more conversations I'm having with people, the strategy for growth and for the business is getting clearer and clearer, especially as we move into 2026 and of course future years. So I wanted to take this opportunity to explain the two main core elements that the business and company is focusing on at the moment. The first of which, and the core main element of the business, is growing the property portfolio using what's called the BRRR strategy. And to explain that to people that might not be familiar with the term, where I will buy a property that's run down, derelict, needs a lot of work doing to it to make it habitable. I will then complete the full refurbishment on the property in order to bring it to a high standard and increase its GDV. And then I will rent the property to a good quality standard of tenant before refinancing it in order to pull out equity, pull out cash from the property to reinvest into future and other projects. So the current portfolio has 3 rental properties in it. And as you would have seen in the last video, we're on our 4th at the moment, which will be finished by mid-December. By following this strategy, I'm continuing to add 2 to 3 properties to the portfolio each year. And even though this is a good linear way to grow, it's a slower way of building wealth in property. Now, even though everything is progressing well on the portfolio building side of things, I realised it was important to also have a cash building, cash flowing element to the company. As I was explaining more to people what the company does, more and more people started to ask questions, and there was a growing level of interest from people that wanted to invest in property and build their own portfolios themselves. This is when I decided I would start doing a service which is called bespoke property sourcing. So effectively, I would search on behalf of an investor or client of mine a good property deal for them to purchase for their own portfolio. But because this is an end-to-end service, not only would I analyse the market, complete all the viewings, crunch the numbers, run the due diligence, I would also, when the good property's found, support them through conveyancing, introduce them to a power team of my solicitors, mortgage brokers, estate agents. So once the property was secured and purchased, a good quality of tenant could also be found. It's the most hands-off way for a client of mine to invest in property, which is really important to them because a number of clients of mine have businesses in other industries, which of course takes their focus and attention. Whilst my focus of course is on the service I provide in helping them build a rental property portfolio. So I hope that's helped you understand a little bit more about what the company does. The plan for the rest of the day and the afternoon is to go down to Project PO49 because it's been 2 weeks since I've last been there. And since it was plastered and since you guys have last seen it, there's been a massive change. So I'm excited to see what the progress has been. Good afternoon. Lads, how are we? Wow, it's extremely cold out there, as you can probably tell by my bright red nose. Just finished checking in with the builders, but I didn't want to get in their way today and start filming because there's 4 of them working down there smashing through it. So I'll come back tomorrow and get some clips so I can show you guys the progress. I've just been walking up and down and putting letters through people's doors of obviously my investment area because I am hunting for my next deal at the moment, because as soon as this project finishes I want to be rolling into the next one. And what I've found when, you know, doing deal analysis and looking at future properties to buy, the best deals aren't on Rightmove. Once they've hit the market, it's kind of already too late for a developer or an investor to find the best deals. So really this old school method of putting letters through people's doors, you know, dealing direct with the seller, ensures that I can kind of get the best deals and they don't have to worry about dealing with estate agents, viewings, etc., all things like that. They can have their property sold in, you know, 1 or 2 months maximum, direct to an investor like myself. So old school methods still do work. It's how I bought my last project, by putting a letter through the door. So if you are looking to, you know, invest and build your own portfolio, don't be afraid to get out there, embrace the cold and go up and down and walk the streets of your area.